Hello and welcome. I am overflowing with excitement to introduce you wonderful audience. We're just so thrilled you're here, to one of my favorite people on the planet. I've had the pleasure of working with and collaborating with, I'm covered in chills, working with the beautiful in and out Karla Silver. And as far as I can tell, hopefully we'll work together into the
I,
future
I
as
hope
long, as long as we can. Karla's jam, to quote her when you look her up, her jam. This is to help people, however you want to call it. Some people call it ranking up, making more money, have more time. She teaches modern marketing methods to modern social sellers, which anyone in business needs to be that. She's here, but I will tell you something. I just responded to someone who asked me about Karla, and unparalleled value is what she adds to a person's life, personally, professionally, and financially. So, without further ado, Karla, please introduce yourself more appropriately, if that's doable, and welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Carol. I have been so looking forward to our time together today. While I teach marketing and modern marketing, which isn't a very modern word. Like I always like, why is it called modern marketing? That sounds old to me. But just so everybody knows, modern, the definition of modern marketing, not by me, but by a big giant consulting company, is designing your sales process around the way your customer wants to buy. So that's that. So I've been an entrepreneur now. I've been an entrepreneur now for almost or over 20 years. I've been through the crucible of learning and learning really how to teach people to be successful. And the topic that we're talking about today is so interesting to me. I am incredibly, even though it's not marketing, everything that you do in life is tied to the subject that we're going to be talking about today. So I'm excited to get going. That was a great introduction. Nobody needs to know any more about me. They can do whatever research they want to do online. I'm sure everybody is here for the actual content that we have to share.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, accountability. As you said, it's not marketing. However, it certainly relates to marketing and everything else in life. When you start working with people, Karla, what is your relationship with accountability, and how do you share with those that you work with so closely? How do you help them grasp the importance of accountability and how it relates to success?
That's such a great question, because I'll back up. I was never like the idea of accountability partners and all of that stuff. I'm like, I do not need, and a lot of us women, especially, we're like, we can figure this out. I don't need to ask for help, or I don't need to be partnered with somebody else. And I've always been a doer. So in my mind, and this will sound so self-centered, but I was like, I'll smoke that person. Like, I'll just leave that person back in the day. That person will hold me back. So I for the longest time I was just like, yeah, accountability partners, and that is not what I'm going to be talking about today, accountability partners. Although one of the first things that switched my mind, because I am people can tell me that something works, but I actually have to know why. I have to know why mindset shifts work. That's just one of my weirdnesses. And so I read a study and I just looked it up to make sure that I could get the name right, by the American Society of Training and Development, that said, and this stat blew my mind, that if you do have an accountability partner and you work together, share your goals, share what you've done every week, your chances of success increase to over 90%. And so when I heard that, and I researched that it was real, that it wasn't some just made up stats, because 95% of stats are made up on the spot, right? So I was fascinated by that idea. And also, because I teach, I'm always looking for ways not only to hack my performance and my productivity, but to help our clients and students move forward more powerfully and faster. And hold on, I'm going to grab a drink of water. Where I am today is ridiculously dry. We were at 6% humidity yesterday, which is, I'm surprised my face isn't one giant big wrinkle. But anyway, I'm just going to go with this because Carol, you might never even have the opportunity to answer another question, because this has become something that I'm extraordinarily passionate about. As an online educator, I have different kinds of products, etc. I've got digital courses, I have a coaching program, I have smaller things. And what I realized along the way, after trying to optimize people's experiences, people's ability to learn, people's ability to be successful, was that there had to be some sort of, first of all, accountability. But that in my programs, that takes the form of a coach of some kind or coaching. So over the years, I've put some sort of coaching into every single product that we have. So somebody can actually talk to a person and help them, and that person can help. Even our $39 a month Biz Academy has coaching in there by some of the top network marketing, direct sales, social sellers out there. And so I got really passionate about understanding how please interrupt me if I'm going like down a rabbit hole, understanding how accountability coaching, which is a version of accountability, how the things that I could do to position first myself for success, and then help other entrepreneurs position themselves for success. And it's gone further than that. I have a lot more to say, but I want to stop and see if you have a question to ask me here.
No, this is excellent, because this is what the audience, I know this is why they're here. It's like, what do you mean? Accountability and success. I'm over here doing this and I'm doing what I need to be doing. But the fact that you're backing this up with statistics and a 90% success rate.
I'll just read it to you here. I just looked it up to make sure that I wasn't going to just make up something here. 95% more likely to succeed by simply directing accountability to a third party. Now, that says to me that having a coach, not necessarily accountability partners, because accountability partners can be unproductive, right? If somebody is not doing their half, or not showing up, or not moving forward. But I found that it gets even better. There is another level to this entirely. And are you ready for it?
Come on.
It starts with this is the best, most amazing productivity hack, success hack ever. It starts with being accountable to yourself.
Boom.
So that person that is saying, oh, I'm doing all the things, probably, in my experience, probably isn't. So what are the things? And so we think we're doing stuff, right? But we're all busy, and I'm like, oh, post on social and do this, and I've got to write a report, or I've got to create some slides, or I need to make those graphics, or the things that online entrepreneurs do. And there's always busy work to do. There's always things to do. So what I have done, and I'll share with your audience, is I sit down at the beginning of the week and I decide exactly how I'm going to reach my key performance indicators, my KPIs, the numbers that I need to create in order to, not sales, the numbers that I need to create in order to create sales. And so that's going to be different for every single entrepreneur on probably here. If you're growing on social, this I can share. If you're going on social, the KPIs I would look at are your daily actions. What are you actually doing? How many offer posts are you making? How many, what we call in our program, POW posts, which are proof that what you do works? How many posts are you creating per week that show your values and your beliefs? That all of these things, we have a very, very scientifically created, because I'm the stats girl, scientifically created content strategy that we teach. So I find that if I don't sit down at the beginning of the week and like, I'm going to do 2 POW posts, 3 posts about my life, 1 post that is an offer. If I don't write those numbers down and then track them and accountable to myself, then I'm not moving my business forward as powerfully. But this gets even better. When you say at the beginning of it, for me, it's on a Sunday, this is what I'm going to do this week. When you are fully accountable to yourself,
Mhm.
it is the most amazing feeling ever. It builds consistency, it builds confidence, and it builds your sales, obviously. But the confidence and certainty is where everything stems from. Everything. So that starts here. And then it goes to being accountable to everybody else.
You know, working with you, which has been 3 years and it's been a ball. The thing about that is I could have been a test case. I was working so hard, working. And you said one day, you said, okay, to a group of us, you said, very interestingly, I could ask you all how often you did XYZ, and you'd say, oh, you give some numbers. And I want you to put that down and the next week track them. And sure enough, because we're working hard and because we are doing things, but we're exaggerating those numbers to ourselves.
Yeah, not intentionally, right? We think we're doing.
Absolutely not. I was trying to be conservative. So it was such an eye opener. So thank you for that. I'm just saying, audience, she's right. And then the next part about that is that what we have discussed oftentimes, how being in integrity with oneself grows everything else
Powerful.
so powerfully and so beautifully, and there's more joy. And ultimately, hopefully, everything we are doing is going to ultimately create more joy.
More joy, more certainty, more confidence in what you can create. Because think about this, right? I'll just get it out of internet marketing and digital marketing and talk about the usual. We've all been on a diet, right?
Oh,
And we say we're going to do something and then we don't do that. We become out of integrity with ourselves, which creates a downward spiral of belief and certainty about what you can create in the future. And that's why, as people are moving forward in their lives, and we're in this era of like everybody's doubting their ability to do anything, right? We're in a no trust era. Who do we trust online? There's all these voices, etc. But the person that we have to really develop that trust with is ourselves first, and have grace with ourselves. Like, I am going to eat the chocolate covered pretzels if they're put in front of me, right? That's just going to happen. But I'm just using that because I was sucked into Trader Joe's thing at the cashier's thing yesterday. I'm like, I'm just gonna get that. But I don't have a list of things that I can and can't eat. I've set myself up in that particular area to be in integrity all the time, mostly. So, but it is the most beautiful feeling. And it just comes with the caveat. I'm going to say this again so that everybody hears me. You got to have grace with yourself because you are not going to be perfect every time. But if you can look and say, well, I did do this, this, and this, and this, yay me, right? And oh, maybe next week I'm going to put my, if we're looking at KPIs, or we're going to not eat chocolate covered pretzels or whatever. So next week I will do a little bit better, right? I'm going to adjust my expectations for myself based on the data, right? Based on the data that you've created from the week before. I can't tell you guys, it is one of the biggest confidence boosting things you can do, and fulfilling. And then fulfillment, of course, leads to joy.
I just, for me, it is the beginning of everything. Because if I'm being accountable, I'm then checking in with my mindset, which literally creates the rest of it, of the day, the week, the year. Okay, so Karla, I wish we could talk forever because we have this mutual admiration society and just fun being together. However, for the audience, I just so appreciate your experience with accountability and how you teach so many. Would you give to the audience before we say goodbye for now, and what are one or two, three max actionable steps that regardless of the field that they are in?
Oh, I'll share.
There's three.
Yeah, I'll share what I do. And it will sound ridiculously simple, but it
Mm.
has been a life changer for me. I sit down on Sunday. I I make it a little ritual. I get all fancy. I get all my little highlighters and colored pens out and stuff. I dump everything that I have to do out of my head. Therefore, I'm not waking up on Monday morning going, what, I got all these millions of things. And you know, guys, we have life, right? Life comes in, there's going to be interruptions. And then of course, we're not going to do the things that we least want to do. Right. Right. And no one wakes up in the morning and goes, yay, I need to do a offer post on social today. Like we don't. So I dump everything. That's number one. I dump everything out of my head. Then I block out what I have to do in my calendar and I identify one game changer, one thing that I believe, and we're going to be talking about business here because most of us are entrepreneurs. What is the one thing that I can do, learn, teach, buy, whatever it is this week? And it might be something that'll take me 4 weeks. Like if you say, I want to learn how to do Facebook ads, it's probably going to take you a month. But I identify what is the one thing that I can buy, do, learn, teach, whatever this week that will move the needle the most in my business. And then I break that all the way down and I plan it out in my schedule. And that's there. That has been the biggest, and I call it a game changer. I did not make this up. I took pieces of this from other peak performance coaches all around. And then everything goes in my schedule and I'm accountable to my schedule. I'm accountable to my schedule. I'm not accountable. I'm like taking the pressure off myself, right? I'm not accountable to me. I'm accountable to my pressure, to my calendar. And that is a simple thing that anybody can do. It is a habit that needs to be created. It is really, really fulfilling. And because you're actually focused on that one thing, that's how your business grows, it leaps and bounds because you're identifying what is that big thing that I can make a big move.
It's incredible. And what you focus on grows. We all know that. It's the truth. I appreciate you and this information so very much. I know the audience will see different ways to get in touch with you, to follow. You've made such a generous offer. If you want to talk about that, great. Because I personally hope that everyone figures out the amazing value, the teaching, and the amazing value in your life that Karla will offer to you to embrace. So thank you, Karla. Thank you, audience. Thank you for wanting to grow and learn. And oh my goodness, I can't wait to speak to each of you. And Karla, I can't wait till our next conversation.
Thanks so much, Carol. This has been awesome. And you are tremendous, a tremendous leader. And you've put together, I think, probably the most amazing summit that I've ever seen. So congratulations.
Well, you're wonderful. And I've enjoyed every second of it. So it's been very selfish.